This is a how-to video for stoichiometry and balancing chemical equations. So in this equation we have nitrogen gas plus hydrogen gas is giving us ammonia, okay, which is a gas. And so what we want to do is balance this chemical equation. The way I like to set it up is first we can write out our reactant and write all the different atoms or molecules that are part of the reactant side of the equation. Then we can write out our products, which we know we have NH3, so we can write down our nitrogen atom and our 3 hydrogen atoms. And now we're going to try to balance these between the reactants and the products. So the first thing we can do is basically look and count up how many atoms we have of nitrogen on the reactant side, and what we see is that we have a total of 2 at the moment. For hydrogen, we also have 2 based on the subscript next to the hydrogen. On the product side of nitrogen, we only have 1 nitrogen, and on the product side for hydrogen, we have 3 hydrogens. And so now we want to make sure that the numbers from the reactants and the products are going to be equal for each individual atom. So if we think about what number we can add in front of each of these molecules, we can then try to make sure that these numbers are equivalent. So the first thing we can do is decide to put a 2 in front of the ammonia. That now means that we no longer have just 1 nitrogen on the product side. We actually now have 2 because we take the 2 as the coefficient times the number of nitrogen atoms, and so we get 2. Well, we can do the same thing for the hydrogen on that side, so we have 2 times 3 now, so now we have a total of 6 hydrogens on the product side. So now we just want to go across and see if these balance between the reactants and the products. So first we can look at nitrogen. Okay. What we find is that we have 2 nitrogens on the reactant side, 2 nitrogen on the product, and so nitrogen is now balanced. We then need to compare hydrogen. Okay. Well, what we see is that we have 6 hydrogen on the product side, but only 2 on the reactant side, and so we need to add a coefficient in front of that hydrogen gas on the reactant side in order to balance the chemical equation. So if we add a 3 in front, okay, we now have 3 molecules of hydrogen gas. Okay, so 3 times 2 gives us a total of 6 hydrogens now on the reactant side. Well, now we can see that hydrogen is now balanced as well. And so at this point we've now balanced the chemical equation.